Bell still not in camp. No surprise, although Kevin Colbert, the GM of the Steelers, ramped things up a bit. Ron Cook, is he right to do it, or do you side with Le'Veon and just taking your time?
Well, I have no problem with Le'Veon not being in there. And I mean, what's Colbert supposed to say? That he doesn't care that his guys aren't at camp? Of course he's going to say that he wants them there. I see the situation from Le'Veon's side. He's not going to get any more money out of this, but I expect him to be in Labor Day, maybe the week before the first game, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for 150 against Cleveland in the opener. I don't think he has to be there. If he was a rookie, something else, it'd be a little bit different. But what's Colbert supposed to say other than we want our guys there?
Plus, the position he plays, I think that he will be able to come in as long as he's in shape, and he'll be able to, make an impact, like you said, with just a week of practice.
He's always been a maniacal workout.
Yeah, and I agree with Le'Veon Bell. I wouldn't be in until Labor Day either. I mean, there's no reason for him
if you
to
could
play.
avoid 3 weeks at St. Vincent, I think you would avoid 3 weeks at sleeping on a dorm bed, right?
But the other thing is, Colbert and Tomlin, they have to say that. I mean, I think everybody would understand it. You're the coach.
Yeah, but he also said there are disciplinary actions. What can you do? He hasn't signed his contract.
I think he said consequences, Bob. I mean, maybe, he doesn't know the offense well enough. I mean, they want him there with his teammates, getting acclimated with the offense. They say there's tweaks every year by Haley. Well, they're not going to discipline him. They can't. He's not under contract. If he had a contract, they could fine him, but he hasn't signed it yet. And the risk he's taken, if he blows out an Achilles tendon working out, he could be out that $12 million.
Yeah, they're not obligated, right?
No,
if he has something now.
Now he signs, comes in and gets hurt, then they are obligated.
All right, Will Graves, want to ask you about a guy who's not around, and some people think he should be around, and that is Colin Kaepernick. Many believe he's been blackballed by the NFL for his knee during the national anthem. And you saw guys like Jay Cutler come in when Ryan Tannehill goes out. Is he being blackballed, and is this right?
Well, I'm glad you asked it in two separate questions, Pop. Is he being blackballed? Is he good enough to be on an NFL roster? Yes. However, these are private businesses. It is not his right to be on an NFL roster. I'm a reporter. We have rules that say on social media, I can't say X, Y, and Z, but I'm an American citizen, right? Can I spout my political views? Not if I want to pay my mortgage. Okay, and that's what the NFL owners are. They're looking at Colin Kaepernick. Is he a good player? Yes, but is he worth the backlash that you're going to get from the public? Not to them. And as private business owners, that is their right. Is it fair to Kaepernick? Maybe not. But you know what? He also said, hey, maybe I don't need to kneel to play this year. Maybe I'll stand up because I'm doing other stuff, which to me is not necessarily sticking with your stand.
Yeah,
so.
real firm believer there. Yeah, I mean, Cutler had made $54 million the past 3 years with the Bears, and was 12-23 as a starter. That tells you he's a coach killer, a coordinate killer, and Miami brings him in instead of Kaepernick. Kaepernick belongs in the league, but I get it. As Will said, these owners are businessmen. I think somebody else will go down, a quarterback will go down. He is going to get his chance. I believe he will play in the league again.
I agree. But, the other part of it, just like Will said, Kaepernick was also 1-10. So if I'm a horrible team, right, I look at Kaepernick and say, well, what's the impact he's going to have? Instead of being a 4-win team, we'll be a 5-win team. It's not worth a headache.
But he had no help in San Francisco.
Right.
Paul, that team was awful. His numbers weren't so bad.
They weren't, but my point is he's not going to elevate a team that's bad to much better in life.
Super Bowl appearance.
Well, all I'm saying here is, if you're excellent or you're really good,
you get away with anything.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
That's the difference in this world. It's a universal truth.
It's not just football.
The other thing is, if you take a stand that you know is going to be unpopular, there are consequences, and one of them might be you lose your job.
See, I think standing up for social injustice is fine. I think he chose the wrong way to do it. That's what he did. And I understand that.
I don't think it's his message. I think it was his method.
It's the flag, it's the military, it's all of that, and he did it the wrong way. He could have done it and looked at as a hero by many people. Instead, he did it that way, and that's
he has put, to be fair to him, he's put his money where his mouth is in terms of giving money to foundations to do things about Black Lives Matter, doing things with community outreach. So he has not just did this symbolic gesture and kind of kept his pocketbook to himself. So I want to give him credit for that. However, you can't say that and then still expect teams to be like, okay, we'll fork out $12 million for you to play this year. You can't do that. And that's the part that there is a disconnect, because there are 100 other guys not on NFL rosters that think they should be on NFL rosters. And are they getting blackballed? No. But are they better than the 100 guys that are in the league? Probably. That's just how it works sometimes. This is just a higher profile case than those others.
All right, we're due for a break. We'll take it, come back with more right here on KDKA-TV, the home of the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown.